What's up, guys? My name is Crescent, and when we're starting a brand new business, we all want to know how to build it the right way. How we can navigate through the often murky and rough waters, avoid as many pitfalls as we can, and have the smoothest and quickest path to success. Am I right? Well, what's often overlooked, and what I believe is equally as important, is how not to start your business. So today, we're going to talk about a few of the topics that you may not have even considered. And that's the top 5 ways on how not to start your new Amazon business. All right? Reason number 1, and is actually the one that I see the most often and what I believe might be what entices most beginners to Amazon, but was actually a red flag for me, and that's believing in false pretenses or false promises. And the biggest false pretense is that you can start an Amazon business with little or no money. A quick search on YouTube and you can see all of the videos claiming how you can change your life with little or no money selling on Amazon. But let's be real. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Now, does that mean that it's not possible to start with little to no money? Well, anyone can start, but to build a successful business, that's highly unlikely. Selling on Amazon isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's going to take a lot of your time and dedication to properly learn the ropes and set yourself up for success. And you need to treat it like any other business startup and have a business plan and the proper amount of funding to get the business off the ground. And believing that $500 or $1,000 is sufficient to start your Amazon business is just being ignorant. If you're not prepared to put in the time and save up enough capital, then selling on Amazon is probably not the right business for you. So don't be a victim of false pretenses. The number 2 reason on how not to start your Amazon business, or any other business for that matter, never start a business because it's your last resort or your only choice left for generating income. Now, what do I mean by that? For example, if you're about to lose your job, so you need to find a way to make money right away, or you don't have a job and you only have so much money left in savings and you want to invest it in a new business, or you are in debt or financial trouble and you need to find a way out, or for whatever reason where you need to find a solution to your money problems. That's a bad situation to be in, and I feel for you, but it's also a bad position to be in for starting a new business. But the money you plan to invest into your business, you need to treat it like if you were to lose it all tomorrow, it wouldn't affect your way of living. Meaning, you can still pay for all of your bills, keep a roof over your head, and put food on the table. Otherwise, the primary reason is you won't be able to make good financial decisions. The decisions you make will not be in the best interest of your business. For example, if you don't have enough money to fund something that you need for the business, you'll most likely take shortcuts. You won't order enough of what you need, you'll get poorer quality products, you can't hire or outsource any tasks that you need done or properly fund any advertising or marketing campaigns. You'll most likely make sacrifices based on budget constraints. And what I worry most about with people in this situation is taking on debt. Always be financially responsible and smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. That's a responsible thing to do if you're finding value in this video, so YouTube will show it to more people so they can benefit from it, and I'd also appreciate it. If you don't have a plan or ability to repay any loans, then don't get any. You're just putting yourself into deeper financial crisis. I also see people take on unnecessary partnerships or investors in order to raise capital. The problem here is that most of the time, those partners or investors don't have the same experience or passion that you do for your business, and you've given them too much control of your business. In my experience, the lack of money usually isn't the core problem. What you need is someone with experience and contacts to lead you in the right direction. You can always raise the capital that you need by borrowing it or saving up for it instead of giving away a portion of your business to a partner or investor. All right, the number 3 reason on how not to start your Amazon business is mismanaging your expectations. Well, I was a victim of mismanaging my expectations too when I first started, so it's not surprising to me that others have also. And by far the biggest mismanaged expectation is believing that you can find your first viable product to sell quickly. And yeah, it's easy to fall victim to that because all you see on YouTube are videos on how profitable products are found in 5 or 10 minutes or whatever. And I'm sure people have found products in 5 or 10 minutes. In fact, I know people have, and I've actually found a couple in 30 minutes or so too, and I've actually made videos on them, but it's highly unlikely. Each one of my products took an average of around 2 months to find and validate. And if you ask around, that's not uncommon. People also underestimate how much capital is required. So did I. I have an extensive video that goes into detail on how much money you need to start your Amazon business, and I'll leave a link to it in the video description below if you want to learn more about it. But even beyond planning your starting capital, there's a bit more to it. First, like I said earlier, is believing that you can build a successful business with only $500 or $1,000. I didn't have any financial constraints when I started, but I still ended up having to spend more than I thought. The thing is you really don't know what product you're going to end up finding and how much it's going to eventually cost you to manufacture and ship it. Second is mismanaging your cash flow. If your product ends up being a success and sells out, you need to have additional funds on hand to order more inventory. Amazon doesn't pay you out right away. The disbursements you get are paid out every 2 weeks. And even then, all sales are held for 7 days in case there's any returns or refunds before being added to your disbursement payout. Not to mention, with your second order, you're probably going to want to order more than you did the first time to take advantage of any volume discounts you can get from your supplier, as well as be able to stay in stock. The fourth way of how not to sell on Amazon is not realizing that you're not allowed to sell on Amazon in the first place. That's right. Not everyone is allowed to or can sell on Amazon, and you can't just sell whatever you want either. I've seen way too many situations where people have gone as far as buying products or having products manufactured only to realize later that they can't sell on Amazon or the product itself isn't allowed. Firstly, Amazon has a list of approved countries that you must live in order to sell on Amazon. They also have a list of restricted and prohibited products that you either can't sell outright or you need prior approval in order to sell them. Amazon also has gated categories, meaning in order to sell products in those categories, you need to have approval first. And almost all major brands like Apple or Sony products also require you to provide valid invoices proving that you purchased your inventory legally. Invoices are not the same as receipts, meaning you can't just go buy these at your local Best Buy and resell them on Amazon. On top of that, many products are also patented or trademarked. That means you can't sell them without approval from the IP owner. You can get sued if you do. These are all potential roadblocks if you're not aware of them or avoid them ahead of time. So don't be one of those people that just dive right in without doing your due diligence first. And this brings us to the fifth way of how not to start your Amazon business. And that's the lack of knowledge. You don't know what you don't know. Sure, diving in without learning the ropes first isn't a smart move by any means, but learning what you can and then thinking that you know everything is also very short-sighted. Again, you don't know what you don't know, and it's these little things that can end up holding you up or costing you a lot of money to fix. I'm very detail-oriented and sometimes OCD to an extreme, and even then, when I started my Amazon business, I didn't know that every unit needed to have the country of origin on it. It's just something I missed. Something like that can get your product stuck at customs, incur fines, get the entire shipment sent back to your supplier, or all of the above. That's why I'm a proponent of taking a course. Why learn from your own mistakes when you can learn on someone else's dime? You can streamline the entire learning process in just a few hours or days. That's why I don't understand why there's such a negative association in the online community with taking courses. You wouldn't go and learn how to drive a car on your own. I mean, I suppose you could, but it wouldn't be very smart. You plan on investing a ton of your own hard-earned money, and every dollar's earning potential should be maximized, so why take a gamble and leave it to chance? Stack the cards in your own favor. All right, I hope you found that helpful, and take these 5 tips in mind when you're starting your Amazon business. So if you want to get in touch with me, you can find all of my contact details in the video description below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment or question in the comment section below. I answer every single one. And as always, if you found value in this video, consider subscribing. And do me a favor, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really does help me out, and I'd appreciate it. And make sure you ring that bell so you never miss a future video. All right? Thanks for watching.